Hey guys, this is my Wonder Woman review. I will try to make it spoiler free, but I will warn you if I say something that you shouldn't hear. I want everybody to watch this video and then go to see this movie if you haven't seen it, because I have to begin by saying that this movie is amazing. This movie is the one that changes a lot of things for superhero movies, and I think that both the DCU, Warner Brothers there, and Marvel with Disney will have to really look at Wonder Woman and take some decisions. So I will talk a little bit further about that. But first of all, let's talk about the movie itself. It's about Wonder Woman, of course, Diana of Themyscira, who lives with all the Amazons and the Amazon Queen, who is her mother, and they live basically in paradise until a man enters their world and he brings news of a great war, an awful war that's happening between humans, and Diana decides she's going to be the one to stop that war and end everything for suffering and you know, the awful things that people are living in that war. So of course Diana is a very good character at heart. I mean, she really thinks the best of people at the beginning. She doesn't understand why people are selfish or mean, and that's a really big message of the movie, actually, that evil and good are, you know, two faces of the same coin, basically. I mean, she thinks that evil has been implanted in humanity, basically, and she realizes that that's not true, that humans are capable of both, and that as humans are capable of both, she is also, and she can use that dark inside of her to make a lot of good, and that's a great message that this movie has. Of course, many people are saying like, oh, this is a woman superhero, yay, the first woman superhero, Jim. And well, of course she's not, because there have been others, namely Black Widow and Scarlet Witch in Marvel, but of course Scarlet Witch and Black Widow in Marvel have not really been that successful. I mean, apparently Scarlett Johansson killed any chance of a Black Widow movie with Ghost in the Shell, so that's not really good. But yeah, Wonder Woman is the first real movie that we get a whole picture about only one character being female, and to be honest, it doesn't really matter. I mean, what this movie makes so great is that you forget that he's a man, she's a woman, whatever. They're all fighting because they're humans and they just want this to stop. They want war to stop. And many people are glossing over the fact that this movie really addresses war, really addresses the awful consequences of war and what it brings to people and what it does to everyone. I mean, it's really disgusting what she sees in the battlefield. She sees people without legs, people being blinded, covered in blood, dead people, orphans, women that you know, that have suffered awful things, destroyed village. I mean, she sees a lot of shit, basically, and she has every opportunity to say, you know what, you humans are the worst, bye, and I'm off to Themyscira again. And she does that because she truly believes she's the one that can change it all, and by the end of the movie you really believe that she is the one that can change everything. And in a way she does, because again, this movie is the one that changes everything, because it makes the stakes real. And I know many movies have tried to do that, making you know, all the bad things that happen in those movies being like, oh my god, what if it happened? And for example, I was thinking of Avengers Age of Ultron, in which, well, they destroy a bunch of cities and people, and of course they lit the whole city and they dropped it again, and of course that killed a lot of people, and we see the consequences of that in Captain America Civil War. But however, we never really see the war. We never really see those people dying. We never really see the awful, disgusting thing that war is. And she does. Wonder Woman really does look suffering and death and everything in the eye. And even then, she keeps on going. And I think that's the important thing about this movie. Many people are just obsessing with the fact that she's a woman, or the fact that she's Wonder Woman, and that's not the point of the movie. The point of the movie is that it's a person that decides to do something and she says it. decides to do something when all the rest of the people have decided to do nothing. And one of my favorite parts of the movie is when she's this isn't really not a spoiler, but she's in a room basically, and she yells at a general because he basically wants to send people to the death, even if peace is so close apparently. And she doesn't understand that, and she says that he should be ashamed because sending people to the deaths is just disgusting, and that a general like his should be with his soldiers and not behind the desk. And that's of course a great analysis of what we have today in the world. Today in the world, only low-ranking, really low-ranking soldiers are the ones that go to fight anywhere. The rest of the warfare nowadays is done by missiles that can cross like 1,000 kilometers, or machines from like drones and things from far away from airfields, and they descended and it comes back. It's not really that personal, and it has been, I mean, it's not that war ever had a soul, but if it ever had a soul, now it really doesn't have any soul at all, because it's all done by machines, and it's machines killing people today. So I'm going to be really excited if they do. I mean, apparently they are doing Wonder Woman Part 2. So I really would love if it happened today, and if he dealt with all the things that war is right now, all those drones and all those awful things that happen today. I would love if she would tackle that, and if she would try to bring peace in such a situation. How would she do it? I mean, it will be amazingly interesting. Again, of course, yes, she is a woman, and yes, she has a male companion during the movie, Steve Trevor, portrayed by Chris Pine. This is the best performance by Chris Pine ever, I would say. I have seen him in a couple of movies, and I actually loved him as Captain. I love him because he's still doing it. As Captain Kirk in the new Star Trek movies, I really love him in that, and he's gorgeous. I mean, let's face it. I mean, there are sequences in the movie which are extremely funny because they really have a great interaction. She had never really seen a man, so she has a lot of questions, and lots of those questions, I mean, I won't tell which are they, but they are really funny, and they create this environment, this really amazing environment in which a man and a woman are very equal. They're equals in that, and they share their knowledge about one thing and the other. I mean, she has all that background with the Amazon, and she has all the background as a person in the war, and as a man, of course. So they really learn from each other, and they really propel each other forward. And I think that's amazing. I mean, she helps him to become a hero, and I think he does the same for her. It's very interesting, and it's not like, yeah, I'm a woman and I'm better than all men. No, it's not at all about that. She's really learning from him, and him from her, and I thought that was the best thing that Patty Jenkins, the director, and the screenwriters, whose names I don't know, but they really did a great job with that. I mean, I'm so surprised. And it's not because she's a woman that this should happen. I mean, every superhero movie should have a great screenplay, and I don't know why they don't have. And that's why I'm saying that this is one of the best screenplays that I have seen from a superhero movie. It has a lot of good stuff. It has some not so great things that I'm going to talk in a moment. But many writers for superhero movies, especially I hope the writers for Captain Marvel are just watching this movie and saying, okay, we can learn a little bit from Wonder Woman, not copy, but learn a lot from her, because Captain Marvel is going to be the Wonder Woman of Marvel, so that's going to be interesting. But again, for you DC fans, let me say this before anything: this is the best movie, one of the best superhero movies ever made. I don't care if it's Marvel, Sony, Fox, whatever. This is one of the best. It's up there with X-Men Days of Future Past. It's up there with X-Men, the first one. It's up there with Marvel's The Avengers. It's up there with Spider-Man 2, which I loved. it's up there with those movies. It's a really great movie with Captain America, the Winter Soldier. I mean, that's another great movie. I think Wonder Woman is the best, or one of the best movies of made about superheroes ever, because it's so integral. I mean, everything is great in this movie. It's the screenplay, it's the directing by Patty Jenkins. I love that they chose a woman. I love that she never she never accepted the deal with Disney in order to do Thor 2. She was going to be the director of Thor: The Dark World, but they chose not to go with her, and that was a blessing in disguise. I mean, really, I'm so happy she's in the DCU right now. She nailed it, basically. Gal Gadot, of course, I don't know if I'm saying her name right. She's amazing. I mean, she was the best part of BVS, and I have to say, Wonder Woman, the movie, makes BVS look even worse, to be honest. I now hate that movie. I mean, I can see BVS. I mean, BVS, it's not as bad as I thought at the first moment I saw it, but it's not great. And this movie, Wonder Woman, really says to BVS, like, really, you couldn't be better. You could have been so much more. And the best part of BVS is Wonder Woman, and now we see why. Because Gal Gadot is amazing in every single part of the movie. Being funny, being sad, being angry, being everything. She's amazing as Diana, as she grows as a superhero, and as a woman, and as a human, and as a Amazon, and as everything. I mean, she really nails the role, and I'm so happy that they chose such a charismatic person to portray Wonder Woman, such an amazing character, by the way. Yeah, so I'm really going to enjoy so much when they portray this character in other movies. To be honest, I have seen the Justice League teaser trailers, and I'm not excited about that movie. I think they come back to that gritty, dark world, and that's so annoying from DC. This movie was dark, of course, because it dealt with death and war, as I said, but it wasn't sad or gray or things like that. Even in the grayest moments, Wonder Woman is a beacon of light. And in those movies, that didn't really happen ever. Not even with her, which is kind of weird, but whatever. And yeah, I mean, I really love this movie because it's grand, it's magnificent. The only few things that I have against this movie, and I'm going to say this pretty quickly, are the enemies she faces. I mean, the big enemy, I won't tell who it is, but they could have done a better work, like fleshing him out, and when we discover who that is, I think it could have been a lot better. And the others are really like people that they use like plot devices. Basically, they don't really have, I mean, there's a tiny moment in which two evil people laugh together, and that's such a great scene, because it's like taken from comic books or an animated series that it was amazing. But the rest is like, yeah, it's just, they are just there to fight her and make her who she is at the end of the movie, and that's great. But I mean, a little more development into their enemies and, you know, the antagonists would be amazing in all movies. I'm not saying only Wonder Woman. In every movie that happens, the enemy is always like so much less than the hero, and that shouldn't be the case. So that's my big thing. And some inconsistencies that the movie has, but not really something that you would say like, oh my god, it's awful. So yeah, I'm advising you to watch this movie. Wonder Woman is amazing. You can watch my DC video right here and another review right here, and please subscribe to my channel for many more reviews of movies. Again, please watch Wonder Woman. This movie is amazing, one of the best superhero movies ever made. You have to watch it. Thank you so much. Goodbye.